Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Friday dev stream Q&A and chat. I'm your host, Mike. Welcome. I know that some of you are suggesting that it might be bad timing due to something else happening in the ARPG space. I don't know what that could be at all. There's nothing else going on, I swear. Yeah, I know there's a certain something dropping right now, but you know, we're gonna keep our regular time slot and just move forward like normal. It might not be the full 2-hour size one we did the last few times, but yeah, hang out and see what's what. How you guys doing? I've got my build a little bit more fleshed out. Yesterday we had a little stream with Reimer, just a mini one, and we switched out bears for ice thorns. So we're now auto casting ice thorns, and I should also still have bear on my bar, so I can summon a bear. Nerf stun, nerf stun. I don't know why you guys don't want to stun things. Like, I keep seeing this, and like, you keep asking to not be able to stun things as well, and it's weird. Oh, my controller's plugged in, that's what's going on. Just doing some controller testing earlier. Some new little features coming that'll make that a little bit better, which I'm very happy to say is coming along well. Yeah, Apprentice, I do know that you're talking about things nerfing you, or stunning you. That's how they nerf you, is they stun you. I was trying to be silly. Just gotta get those defenses up, pump those numbers up. We were talking a little bit about buff bar icons in the last stream with Reimer, about any buff bar icons that people wanted to have added. And I expected it to be a little bit more of a, like, we want this to happen. And there was almost no one asking to get certain things added. So I'll still take request submissions there if anyone has an item they want to show up on their buff bar that doesn't right now. You might be wondering why we just don't slap all of them down. And it's because there's a lot of buffs that are, I guess, incidental buffs that happen always. Like, every time you do this, you always get a buff. And it's if we put all things like that down, we could end up with a very cluttered buff bar. So we like to be a little cautious when it comes to what we put down there. And in some cases, we like to consolidate. Sometimes it causes confusion, though, as well. So there's, in the marksman tree, there's 2 buffs that trigger the exact same way and have the exact same duration. So they're consolidated into a single buff. And it doesn't actually use the name of either of them. And it can get a little confusing. So we're still working out the best way to do that. But trying to keep your screens clear of clutter. Lightning, Aegis, and Enchant Weapon. Okay? Vengeance, Bolster, Buff, DR. So the damage reduction buff from Vengeance on the Bolster node. Should write these down. Get a little sticky note going. Let's see here. Vengeance, Bolster, Buff, DR. Lightning Aegis. Bone armor. It cannot be stunned rare affix. Yeah, I'd be. Whoa, that was close. Living on the edge here, guys. Alright, I have a question for you. It's going to apply to possible question that already has been answered. Is the future plans to change the logic on your right mouse attack to move to the target enemies? Okay, you can. There's a setting here, right here. If it doesn't work the way you think it works, just flip it, and it'll probably do what you want it to do. So any word on some nerfs? I mean, it's a question I gotta ask that may not have an answer for. I mean, there's all sorts of buffs and nerfs that happen to every patch. I know there was a bug that allowed cryomancers and pyromancers to shotgun when they weren't supposed to. You may have seen a forum post about it recently that drew it to our attention. Teleport buffs if they're all in one. Okay, sweet. Thank you. Volatile reversal. Attack speed buff. Thank you. Is there plans to add any more voice acting in the future? Yeah, for sure. We've got we've got lots of things we want voice acted. Like, for example, key NPC lines in story events, having more of those voice acted. Just a bigger variety of main character voice lines. Like the mage, like, I'm not a man of many pockets, and things like that. Just getting more variety in there would be great. I really want to get more cutscenes into. Probably be the similar style to the first opening cutscenes that we have. But I think that would help tie the story in, and those would be voice acted too. Voice acting is really tough because it has to be, the lines have to be finalized, really, or at least very close to finalized when you get the voice acting done. Just because it's charged by the word usually, or sometimes not. Sometimes it's by like a big batch. But if you get like dozens of like alternate possible voice lines done, it costs a lot more. And so you have to get the script ready, and if you change the script afterwards, then you have to get it redone. So it's something we do have to be a little bit careful with, and yeah.
I will not die here.
Echo. Bring back set affixes in the form of stun avoidance and crit avoidance per set item. I'll put that on the list of requests. Not saying that's going to happen for sure, but you never know. Sweet Toxin, realizing the settings has been there. It's the first option in the settings, so I know how you could miss it. And it has been there since 3-4 years, something like that. Maybe not quite that long. Just messing with you. But it's been there for a while. What am I doing here?
Yes.
Sell a few things. Oh, that's pretty cool. An arena key? I don't remember getting that. Oh yeah, guys, great news. As of today, the new stash tab drag to reorder for tabs and categories is implemented and merged into the project. It's done. It's been accepted by QA. It was a long and grueling road. Took hours longer than it was supposed to. But we got it done. We got it done. Not a question, but I kind of feel like getting information of these buff icons would be better served from a survey or targeted forum post from you. Yeah, that might be a good idea. We were just looking for something to do in the little mini stream, and we thought that would be a cool thing because Reimer and I are the ones that handle that usually. So we figured, why not? But yeah, we'll probably put something else out like that. I kind of like adding them in like bits at a time. Any thoughts on adding events to Monolith similar to Monster Shrines from Grim Dawn or Breach from PoE? LE, something that appears every few maps, give me extra mobs to kill, or something similar to fill out the monoliths and a little bit to add variety. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Just having different monoliths be different things. There could be various different objectives, sort of like how we have some that are like a how do you say it? like the spires or the forges or the there's a few different types of objectives, and just having a different objective type, more variety in there. Yeah, that's definitely something we're working on doing. Will you enhance the skill Reaper forms still graphically? I really like the way it looks personally, but if you would like to suggest that, go ahead. What are your thoughts on introducing something like two-handed crossbows to the game? I asked because I noticed last Epoch seems to lack power shot builds, slow firing, high damage. Yeah, the there is a slot for two-handed crossbows in the item ID list. That we like put as a placeholder when we were first setting up the ID list. It's one of the few unused ones right now. It's something that could happen in the future. We're not ready to put it in yet, but yeah, I can see that happening eventually. Probably in some sort of down the road type thing, you know, one day. Maybe it'll come with like a new class, or a new mastery, or a new era, or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? How do you take a screenshot in last Epoch? There's a few different ways you can use. If you're using Steam, you can use the Steam shortcuts to do it. Depending on which operating system you're on, there's like Windows print screen has we'll put it to clipboard. That's your whole screen. So if you're using multiple monitors, sometimes it's better to do Windows Shift print screen. You can also, what am I doing here? You can also it's quite the horde. I know I'm popular, guys, but just one at a time. I'll sign all your autographs. Come on, what's going on here? You can also use snipping tool on Windows, which I think is my preferred way. If you're not using full screen, you can alt tab to it, or if you are using full screen, you can use the delay tool on it to like trigger a screenshot and then get the screen into the state you want it in, and then it will let you take the screenshot. It'll freeze the screen. Can Shade of Oribus put any of his 30 moves in his set, or only certain skills that synergize well? It's not fully done yet. It's pretty close, so I don't want to say something in case it gets changed, but it's a semi-smart system. And we'll be revealing more about the Shade later. Volatile Reversal is my favorite skill in the game. Please be gentle. I'm never gentle. I actually really like Volatile Reversal too. I did a lot of the work on that one actually, which is why it's so buggy. No, just kidding. There's a few issues with it still that we want to get worked out. Its tree is slated for some upgrades. It's a little bit on the older side. Any news on the Rune of Lie? I mean, Rune of Removal? Yeah, it's I think we changed it to be equal odds for all nodes, but I can't remember if we've done that or not. I don't think I don't know if it ever was different odds. Like, I'm the one that wrote that portion, and I do not remember setting up any sort of not even odds thing for it. So, like, I really don't know if it ever was skewed odds. Like, someone do a huge data set with it. How are cosmetics planned to work? I cannot imagine them within an offline game mode. Well, like, the cosmetics will only work if you're, like, logged into, like, the game. If that makes any sense. I think. I don't see how we could do it purely offline either, without just giving access to everything. So they'll be primarily in the online mode is where they'll be useful. Or at least logged in, I guess. It's a good question, though. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. We'd love to see a Rune of Corruption. Yeah, just a, like, one fell swoop, pop it, can't be edited anymore, but you get some sort of random bonus. Yeah, we've got lots of plans for various runes coming up, and that is one that has been suggested multiple times. Is there any timeline for full end of early access? No, that's the same as asking when's launch, and I don't have a launch date for you either. Do you have any news that can share about endgame content besides new timelines for the Monolith of Fate? Not really. The big thing that's coming next patch is we are modifying how the Monolith works in general, giving it a little bit more depth and complexity. So it's and I think a little bit more longevity and how fun it is to play for a long period of time back to back. And even just hopping in for a small session as well. I think it's going to help a lot.
Impossible.
Get out of there. I was looking up, like, actual historical pictures of Nodachi weapons. The handles are humongous. Like, we've got new 3D and 2D art coming for them, and like we're looking at actual real versions of them, and they're just, the handles are huge. Like, it looks like the handles are like 3 feet long in some cases. It's just like, what is going on here? Resistance buff for deployed totems having an icon. Yeah, that's tricky because as soon as you go out of range, I guess we can remove it when we lose it. Yeah, that's fine. Unless it's just a global one, then it's even easier. Maelstrom build seems doing well. When's the guide coming up? Well, it is Reimer's build, not mine, so I can't take credit for it. Mine was nowhere near as good when I was just playing through the campaign. And parts of what I'm using now I know won't work soon, so I don't think I'll bother with a game guide, but you know, we'll see. Is your roadmap posted? Yeah, we've got a roadmap up. It's like the first link on our forums and on Reddit, and there's probably like a exclamation mark roadmap on Discord that'll link you to it or something like that. It doesn't have any specific dates on it though if you're looking for that, so sorry. Ooh, that would hurt. Just started playing this week. Welcome to the party, Tech Lars. Events added to arena to make it less repetitive. Yeah, we haven't done much to the arena yet. I've told the story a couple times, but like the arena was a something we actually patched in the middle of Kickstarter because people were playing more than we expected them to in the Kickstarter demo, and the demo only really went up to like level 20 or so. But because people wanted to play so much longer, we didn't have any content for them. And so we added it as a like an infinite scaling thing, just as a stopgap before we got any sort of real endgame systems in. And since that, like people have taken quite a liking to it in general, and it's been a lot more popular than we expected. So it'll probably stick around long term, which means we will be updating it. It's hard to make something like that not super repetitive, apart from just like making the scaling happen faster so you die sooner, and then things like letting you start it a little bit further into it like the golden keys do, or having some sort of checkpointing system. It's hard though, because part of it is wanting to have builds that like take one build through the whole thing, and if there's too much of a checkpointing system, it lets you like change your build to like handle later ones better and things like that. So it's, do we want that to be a thing? Do we not? I don't know if we want like changing your build mid-run to be like part of build guides for the arena. If that makes any sense. Oh right, this is why I was gonna do Sabretooth, because it's a cold minion, but doesn't matter now. No Sabretooth. Womp womp. Yeah. And here we dropped the area, and I want to increase the area. When can we expect to get some more info on depth and complexity added to the mono next patch? There will be likely a dev blog post coming out on that closer to the patch date. It's still very much in development, so I don't really have much information I could give you on it yet. Bye-bye, Raven. Any love for two-handed coming up? Yeah, there was something we did for two-handed in general recently. Can't remember what it was, though. So many tiny little buffs that happen, and then just like as soon as it's done, it's just out of mind. It's done. Whew, spicy. Ah!
Impossible.
Impossible. Keep forgetting to resummon the bear. It's okay though, Maelstrom's doing the work. I do love being a melee class with a staff. Just being like, wading into battle with this big two-handed wooden stick. Smacking people with it. What are your plans for balancing PvP? Will you normalize damage in a way to avoid one-shotting? Yeah, PvP is something that is... we'll start balancing that once like multiplayer is solid and we're happy with how single player is doing, and then we'll start to look at multiplayer or PvP balancing more. The big problem is that there's damage and health is scaled very differently for enemies and allies. So things like minion health is just humongous, and then in a PvP scenario, it would be a little wild for minions in PvP scenarios to have that be balanced nicely. So we still got to work out some kinks there, but we'll do something likely. Straight normalizing damage is tough because hits that deal a lot of little hits scale so much differently than individual really big hits, especially when like human dodging's a thing. So part of the reason abilities like a like a charge shot type attack where you sit there charged up. It's a slow moving ball that flies towards something. It's so good in PvE is that the monster's not going to move out of the way of it. It's just going to take it. But a human won't. So a lot of ability scaling changes pretty heavily as soon as you get into PvP. Techlar's cool. You're saying that it's refreshing to see a dev team that cares about their game? Well, yeah, thank you. We care very much about our game. It's been pretty well the only thing I do other than family time for the last few years now. Suggesting we don't add checkpoints to the arena. Yeah, we haven't yet. I'll say that. It's something we've talked about doing for sure. It's something that we get asked about a lot. And when we get asked about something enough, we generally at least talk about it. But we haven't done it yet.
Impossible.
Frostworm Void Centipede nerfs when? Something's got to be scary, right? Everything's just easy. Just kill it all. Where's the fun in that, huh? Oh, Plague Bears. Yeah, I don't think it'll work with this build at all. Didn't think about it. I was just double checking to make sure. If you've got bug reports, please post them on the website in the forums. And I see people talking about that right after that. Sorry. Oh. Little zappy boy there. Oh my god, guys, I caught up in chat. Yay! I like that we have many timeline eras. Question about them. Is there going to be quests, events, so we have different reasons to explore areas? What's your vision about that? Yeah, each individual area in the Monolith timelines, like how they're set up, the ones that already exist aren't changing a whole ton. There will be some things that get updated like every time. There's little changes that get made. But the basic way that most of these are set up isn't changing much. Some new ones getting added to the mix for sure. Ding! Impossible. Alright. Where's Pat? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I'll try and get him on next time. I have a feeling something personal may have come up. I'm purely speculating now. I haven't done a forge in this run in quite a while. This might be the first one. Used to be the only thing we had. Fools! Fools! Yeah, that's a good one. I know your message got modded, auto-modded, I think, but I liked it. Do you plan on adding Monolith completion task, kill 90% of all monsters? We've talked about that having like a little bar, because I know that the amount of stuff that drops from this chest scales based on the number of minions you kill. That's something that a lot of people don't actually realize. And people have asked to have like a little bar, like a fill-up bar that shows how far into that you are, what percentage of them you've killed, that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen there or not, but that is something we get requested a fair bit, actually. That'd be pretty sweet, actually. Do that. A little bit more freeze rate. Oak staff? Nah. Put a couple things away that we're not going to use. Wait, did that have... Oh, that's pretty nice, too. We don't need that, do we? This is the problem with the current idol system. It's just going to end up being 4 of these, like, nomad idols. Great. Pat's late, make him buy a beer. Yeah. Yeah, hear that, Pat? You owe me a beer. Changing the idle system when? Oh, Judd. Next patch. You know that. Exalted idols when? Oh man, that would be that'd be a tough thing to get in there and balance well, eh? I mean, maybe. We had a request for unique idols as well recently. That request comes up every once in a while. And then there's the like, they'd have to behave more like unique idols in like D2, where you can only have then like our uniques where you can have multiple, like two of the same unique ring equipped. They'd probably have to be like only one of them could be equipped at a time type thing. I was trying to get like oddly shaped like Tetris block pieces idols working the other day. It didn't work out too well. Rawr. Oh, those look so much better now. Will all uniques be getting upgraded version in the end? No, not all of them will get upgraded versions. Like some uniques, it's important that they have that niche in leveling. Sometimes there's interesting effects that you want to be able to put on a low level version. We are trying to still adjust the place that most uniques have in the build hierarchy. Ideally, most builds would be using some uniques, and most uniques would be viable in some builds. Right now, that's not the case. Apparently, we scheduled this at a terrible time for Pat. I just got word. So we might see about rescheduling it. Oh, here we go, boys. Any plans on localization? Yeah, for sure. There will be. We plan to do localization for different areas. We haven't decided exactly which areas are going to happen yet, but we do know that we want areas that have high player percentages at least to get localization support. It's once again, it's a similar thing with voice acting. It's tough because if you do the localization once and then oh sweet Jesus of Believus. All right, if you do the localization stuff once and then, oh man, I do not have enough for necrotic resistance for this. And then you change the script, you gotta redo it all. It's quite expensive. So localization comes much closer to release when we know what the full breadth of sorry, I'm trying to focus here, make sure I don't die. I saw it. Okay. Okay. You've died to a fire hit. 0% fire protection. Okay. Let's do a little crafting and get some fire res, because we don't have any. Do we have room for... It's a suffix here, isn't it? Yeah. What can it go on? Basically anything. Okay. You can go on that, though. Well, how much do we have? Fire resistance. We have 15 of them. How's our necrotic as well? Not great. $18 of those. Okay, so we gotta replace one of our items with a necrotic fire resistance version of it. Maybe these gloves. Maybe these boots. Okay, gloves or boots? Let's see, do we have a good base for gloves or boots anywhere? Let's just pull all of our gloves out. All of our boots. Boots and gloves. It's crafting time. I mean, someone noticed today on the forum. I totally forgot about this, but it's really cool. So the way petals organize themselves in a lot of stuff in nature in general, it uses basically a Fibonacci sequence. So there's 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. It's like the last two added together makes the next number. So I really like that. If you never noticed that, that's the little things. I mean, we could do that. Morning Frost might be good. How does it feel to play your own game? Awesome. Don't get to play enough. Wish I could play more. All right. Do this. We're going to rename this Boots. And put the boots on there. And be brown. Boots. Put all the boots in here for a little bit. Okay. Let's focus on gloves for a minute. I do like the Outcast because it has that necrotic resistance base. But the Engraved does have that endurance base. So I think we'll either do... Yeah. Outcast or Engraved base, or either of these... We need suffixes. Necrotic. And we could roll this one. Okay, here we go. We're gonna roll this. Yes. We're gonna try and rip off. Nope, not this one. We're gonna try and rip off that health regen. And it's gonna rip off the necrotic resistance. And you all are gonna laugh at me. That's okay. Ah! Hey, we got it! Alright. You know the guys that removed both the T1s. I'll take it. That is significantly more fire resistance than we had before. And our necrotic is almost up there. So we just gotta get boots with fire resistance on them and I'll be happy. Let's do a little shattering here while we're at it. Just crack them all. Why not? Should probably put these back. Let's make another one. Gloves. I'm curious, either personally or as a group of devs, how do you feel about auto-casting? Personally, I feel that every time I see a build that uses auto-casting, it's a mistake that we've made to make that be the optimal way to play. I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing it if it's available, personally. As long as it's, not against the TOS and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of, good things about it when it comes to, RSI. Cold resistance right on there, that's nice. With high base movement speed and at least a fire res suffix. None of these have fire res suffixes. So we need an open suffix. There's one. Strength. Ich. Strength and intelligence. Ich. Ich. We could just try and pull. Let's do it again, guys. We got it. That health regen, one of them suffixes going. Yes. All coming up, Mike. I'll take it. Look at that. There we go. Alright, our fire resistance is up, our necrotic resistance is up. We're going to go back and hunt this boss again. Why is there an actual forge and you can craft without it? It's more of a tutorializing that it's possible, hinting that it's there. I took a mark for death one. That was smart, Mike. Hopefully that wears off before we get to the boss. We also had talked about having certain buffs for the using certain craftings at the forge, or having the forge. If you actually go to the forge and activate it, there was an always ability to use a forge shattering stone type thing, but you couldn't. It couldn't get everything, or there was limited usability of it or something. It was just a few different things we've talked about with having it, and we just haven't wanted to remove it because of that. And also it helps tutorialize that you can craft when you see this thing to click on. we do so much dot stuff. Are 3D arts for unique items coming before multiplayer so we can enjoy our cool looking armor and weapons when we play with our friends? Yeah, I mean, so you'll notice that most unique weapons, I shouldn't say most, some unique weapons have unique art. And that's because it's way, 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 way easier to do for something that you just hold in your hand instead of something that you, that like wraps around a mesh that already exists. So we do unique weapons. That was the wrong button to press. Unique weapons and armor, weapons and shields, offense, things that sit in your hands before we do the things that wrap around the character, especially unique ones that can be equipped to multiple classes. But this is something we are looking at expanding. My hand was one space to the right, and that's why I was pressing the wrong buttons. Hi, Grizz. The Grizz one. Nice to see ya. We've never met before, but it's nice to see you anyways. Incentives to using the actual forge would be cool. The only problem with having, so this is why we haven't done it. Adding real incentives to the actual forge causes this burden of optimal play issue where people feel like they can only craft when they're at a forge. And so suddenly, one thing we do really like about the crafting system is, boom, I'm crafting. Is being able to do that anywhere. And so as soon as you say, okay, if you're better at crafting at the forge, it suddenly is, okay, well, I have to go to town to craft. Which we're not huge on, really. Where am I going? And, yeah, so that's why we haven't done that yet. That's why when I brought up the example is, it would be sort of a less good version of what you can do in the field, but it's sort of always there as an option. So, like, you run out of shattering stones, you can still shatter. And, like, have a low chance to get stuff back. But yeah, we probably wouldn't make it optimal to come back to the forge to craft, just general crafting stuff. Just Jord, loving the game so far. Feels like PoE and Grim Dawn had a child. My question is, do we have time? Time when multiplayer will be like a ballpark. No, I do not. Sorry, but thank you for the kind words on the game. Grim Dawn and PoE are two high sources of inspiration for us. We've played a lot of those games, and whether we like it or not, sometimes just things you've played influence what you make. And that's the same with just about every game, really. That's been developed by anyone who's ever played a game. What kind of effect will Legendaries have versus Unique? I saw that they were later on the roadmap. Yeah, so Legendaries are... we haven't really announced much about what Legendaries are yet, or how to get them, or what they'll do. They will be significantly more rare than Uniques. There will be dramatically fewer of them in existence, especially at launch. The thing I said last time, and unfortunately all I'm going to say again this time, is it's more of a... There's more of a story attached to a legendary item. So, like, personally, I really liked the way that WoW did Legendaries to begin with, where there was, like, only one for a really long time. And then there was a second one they had it, like, a year later, 2 years later, whatever it was. Maybe more, actually. And I'm not saying we're going to be that stingy with it, but the fact that there was this, like, month-long effort to get one of them in some cases was, I think, really cool. So I think the biggest difference between Legendaries and Unique items is they'll be really specific and specialized items that most builds won't be able to take advantage of or care about. They'll just look at it and go, "That's not for me," but that's fine. A lot of it will be in the getting of them. That will be really interesting. We're still working out exactly how those are going to come together. So, I mean, everything I'm saying could change in a heartbeat on them. Yes. Okay, here we go. Do I want to switch this out now? I think so. I want to break this one down. Here. Shmee. Mike, I think it's time for some leaks. Who said I was going to leak anything? Do I usually leak stuff on this stream? I thought you guys were all here for my glowing personality. I can't even say it with a straight face. Yeah, there was... honestly, we've been showing a lot of stuff recently, and it's getting to the point where it's tough to find too many new things that we aren't holding off on still, or want to save for a larger social post or something like that. But I might have some little sneak peeks lined up, or two. Exactly two, actually. I noticed both my playthroughs to echoes that would randomly lose quest guide markers on the map. Am I an idiot or is this fixable? You're not an idiot. I have no idea if it's fixable. Oh, spicy dragon. A bunch of fire res now. I probably could just tank it, right? 29 fire. Why is it only 29? What? Oh, I got marked. Yeah, I gotta get those to drop before I take on the boss. Because that would go so badly. So badly. Any plans to implement a combo over kill streak system? Unlikely. It really pushes that gotta go fast mentality, which is like not terrible to have, but lightening up on the incentives for it is something we've tried to do. Okay, do I still have... Yes, we do have that. How many more does it last for? Still doesn't show. Gotta fix that. Any creator items next patch? I think so. I think that there's 2. And I could be wrong. But I think there's 2. I'm not going to say who they are or what they are or anything like that, but yes. Any plans for arena-style PvP? Yeah, there's... we've definitely talked about different ways to do PvP, and there's some really fun game modes that can happen, like... and I have no idea if we're going to end up getting to any of these, but I think it would be really cool to explore. Doing things that like don't normally show up in ARPG PvP modes, but things like, I don't know, King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, like a gun game system. So like you start with really powerful abilities and you have to get a kill with that, and every time you do, your abilities get worse and worse. You know, that sort of thing. I don't know how that one probably wouldn't work too well. Ding. But you know, there's room for experimentation in the ARPG PvP space, I think. And as we saw, like with what's the genre even called these days? Like the PUBG Fortnite genre. I can't even blank what it's even called. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Things like that have turned out really well in the past. Kissing Iron, just show them fixed dragging stash tabs. Yeah, I should just do that. I'll just bring up my editor and show that, because oh my god, I spent the whole week working on that, and it was, oh, it was painful. So many tiny little bugs showed up for getting draggable stash tabs in, and oh my god, I'm so happy that it's working. So close. Oh, guys, I'm just trying to kill you all. Why you gotta be so mean? Huh? I had problems with my arm last week. It got better. Yeah, look, it's totally. Oh, it's this arm. Sorry, it's totally fine. Healing Wind skill tree and nerfs to mob selling players soon. Healing Wind is very unlikely to get a skill tree ever. I did say that last week, but I don't know if this really works given what I'm trying to do, but I think we'll give it a shot, see if those nodes play nice. Okay. Still have Mark for Death on there. Gotta get rid of that. I'm gonna struggle. Can you say at some point you can dual wield all weapon types? No, we're not gonna do that, I don't think. There's quite a few reasons why we won't likely dual wield all weapon types. Most of it has thematic stuff attached to it. Some of it is mechanical stuff as well. But having those restrictions lets us do a lot of things in the like having, I don't know, having a mace and a sword, or that's a bad example, likely an axe and a dagger. That would be really amazing to dual wield. Now, only classes that can dual wield with an axe or dagger in their offhand can take advantage of that, and the ones that have swords can't. So then we can like balance around that a lot easier. Which I know might feel restrictive sometimes, but trust me when I say there's a lot of effects that are in the game because of restrictions like that that would have to get removed if they didn't exist. Also, there's a ton of extra animation stuff that has to be done for it, which can be done over time. So we may expand the amount of dual wielding options that are out there. But I can tell you that there's no more dual wielding options being added next patch. Guys, I'm going the exact opposite direction of the forge. Stun avoidance shard, yes please. Yeah, the hold click to go over things, having it actually click. When you're holding the mouse button down, it's actually clicking repeatedly. It's going click, 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 click. And so that's why there's a lot of problems that happen with that. But that is something we were looking at. With the new idol grid, we see small best in slot idols like D2 Annie or Torch. Give me. Yeah, I can see some really interesting one slot idols happening. Especially now that you're going to be almost for sure using some sort of one slot idol in a lot of builds. And that comes with someone asked for unique idols, and I think if we did it, that would come at the same time. There's some plans. Some plans for stuff. Titan grip in WoW, you can dual wield two-handers or two-hander and a shield. We don't have any plans for that right now. It's something that might happen, like the primalist might get something like that. I could see with, and like those always come with a downside as well, which we'd have to. Any new weapon types coming before 1.0, like fist weapons? Unlikely you'll have new weapon types before 1.0. It's possible if something really comes up. I know we talked about fist weapons recently and didn't. It's not to say it'll never happen, but all right. Something's happening. I don't know what it is. Oh my god, that's disgusting. It's terrifying too. Will controller support be improved? It's hard to play anything but melee. Yeah, we've actually got... I was just working on some controller support stuff with one of our other developers. He's doing a great job improving some gamepad support stuff for specifically picking up items and cycling through them a lot easier. Yeah, here's a little sneak peek at a new skill coming up this patch. You want a jumping zombie like Hunter from Left 4 Dead? Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Oh! That hurts! That hurts a lot! Guys, come on, I'm just trying to wear off my Mark for Death mod so I can go fight the boss. Ooh. I really should have looked at how many it was. I got cocky. How many new skills are coming next patch? There's not a lot next patch. It's our skill development team has been focusing on a lot of multiplayer stuff recently and a lot of UI stuff recently, and some also working on some skills that are coming to the patch after next, because they've got to get worked on a little earlier than normal. Oh. And also, there's a few skills coming for some boss skills next patch, which you may have seen the teaser for already. But the skills that are coming next patch, I am quite happy with. I mean, I'm always pretty happy with the skills, so it's not saying much, but... Oh, I looked away to chat. Mark for Death is still there. Alright, guys. Yeah, I do blame you, chat. It's your fault, Luxcanium, specifically. We're gonna have words later. As a reward for me dying, I will, there's another variation on things. So sometimes they're just so full of grossness. I don't know what else to call it. They just have to let it out. We had to add a little bit of new AI for this to work properly as well.
Impossible.
Were puking zombies based on my little one? No, they were not. He's actually really good. He doesn't puke much at all. Well, I say that, but I'm not with him most of the day, so maybe he does more than I think. Yeah, they've been out partying too much. Okay, we'll get the game back. Hope you guys got a good look at that. The totem is still bumping my resistances up really high. I forgot about that. I'm just gonna make sure that the totem doesn't die. Those are a great time for mono leaks. Do have some nice. I will shatter those. Nice. We don't crit, so that's fine. Will anything other than arenas have ladders by 1.0? I hope so. We've talked about various other ways to do ladders. It's hard to do ladders in Monolith, but we might. And I do really like having ladders. That competitive aspect is one of my favorite things, really. Technically, I guess you could say leveling has ladders already as well, but I'd like to see that expanded personally. The way it's set up is it's pretty easy to have different types of ladders, so we did create it with the plan of having multiple types of ladders. We've actually just broken over an hour. Okay, I'm gonna go until I'm having fun here, so I kind of want to keep playing, but I know I got work to do too. I think we'll go till the half-hour mark, and we'll call it a stream for the day. I'll try and get another little one in as well sometime next week, maybe. I've been wanting to do more little ones. If there's anyone you want to like have a little interview with on the team. I know we talked about that last time, and might bring some more people on. Maybe like a nice little story time. Got him. Got him. Will the graphics stay like this or get better? I mean, I think the graphics are getting better every day. There's a lot that goes into graphics, VFX. The animations have a big impact on graphics, like the modeling, texturing. There's a ton of stuff that goes into that affects how the graphics look. And lots of that stuff gets better all the time. So yeah, I mean, it'll slowly get better. There won't be a quantum leap in graphics that'll happen, where it all looks like we're just in someone else's body.
Impossible.
Any chance we'll ever have weapon swap? If it was up to me, yesterday we would have had it. Can we get some multiplayer dev streams? Would love to see how it's progressing. Yeah, I mean, that might be possible. Ooh, that's a good one. I'll talk to some people and see what we can work up. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. With no more. No more Mark for Death stuff. Is there going to be a change on boss loot in early levels like the campaign? There's now nothing is guaranteed unique, so it can feel unrewarding to win a boss fight. Yeah, I mean, there's having guaranteed specific uniques is on every boss fight. It I think would make it feel actually less rewarding in general, because you'd always have that like, okay, well this boss drops this and this boss drops this as just the like the guaranteed stuff. We might be able to do like a pool and it always drops one from that pool or something like that. But it's pretty rare that I mean, using other games as examples, like Diablo 2 didn't have that. Like I know it sucked to get like, oh, I just killed Duriel and I got 5 town portals, great. But there's kind of got to be less awesome versions to have the more awesome versions feel more awesome in some cases. Oh man, it's hurting. Jump! So good, I don't even need my bear for this. Alright. We gotta watch out for the fire one. What's my... Still not full because I don't have my totem out. Let's full the totem out. There's the bear. The taunt. Sorry, chat. I like just glanced over and realized that was a dumb idea. Thank you. Did I see of the hive? Aw, it's not the hive I thought it was. They're both really good, but I don't think we even have aspect of the links, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, get that maelstrom rolling. I want that recast. Where should we go, guys? Which way? 65, 65, 65, 65. Alright, 65. I completely forgot about the bonuses here, the blessings, till right now. Gold, poo-poo, unique, that'd be nice. Rune. I'm doing SSF and I kind of want the runes. I'm not looking for a specific unique yet. I need more shattering runes. Time to die to Raya on stream. Yeah, I would. I love the bridges. I love the bridges. Black old sun. Alright. Do a couple more here. 15 more minutes left. Chatterbox, glad you're having fun. Oh my. Do I need void resistance? I do need void resistance. Where am I going to get void resistance from, guys? Any plans to improve uniques via crafting? Unlikely. So there was a question about crafting idols as well. I mean, like, so we've talked about having some minor stuff, like being able to re-roll the affixes with shards and things like that. It's hard to do because there's not the same. So like, okay, the re-rolling runes are balanced on how much like instability they give and the fracture chance based on a lot of the fact that you're spending most of that instability and fracture chance on adding shards to it. But if you are if the only thing you're using that on is unique items, it tends to mean you can just re-roll it until the cows come home or until you get it perfect. Now there's the chance that you say like, okay, it has like 10 times the chance to fracture on a unique or something like that. So it's way worse to do it. Part of the reason idols aren't like shatterable and like craftable with shards is that the pool of affixes that would be available, and it's the same reason why most unique or all unique affixes don't have shards as well, is the pool's already getting pretty big. I can tank it. I can tank it. But yeah, we are adding in some more crafting things, and there's going to be some crafting shake-up that'll happen as well. Do I plan to add an option to lower brightness of certain effects skills? We hadn't, but you're welcome to make the suggestion over on the forums or Discord in the suggestions channel. Would be a great place to put it. My boots and my gloves. More boots. More gloves. And random crap. It's like full. Just stashing stuff away. One of these days I'll look through there for stuff to craft on. Frenzy and haste when hit. Ugh, not a huge fan of that. What is my opinion of the current state of projectiles? Like how specific ones miss the mark, at least from my community standpoint. Like for instance, the huge difference between projectile skills like multi-shot versus something like Hungering Souls. Okay, so Hoarders ARPG editions, right? A lot of the rogue skills and really fast-moving long-range projectiles have very skinny hitboxes, and a large part of that is like, so part of it is just a thematic thing, like the skill, like being very accurate at like a very precise character and that sort of stuff. Part of it as well is having them fit through things like doorways and around rocks and things like that. But unfortunately, it results in them not always hitting properly and kind of feeling bad. And it's probably the first time you noticed it was on a rogue marksman, specifically ability. We have made some changes to that internally already that will be out next patch. They get a little bit of the... So shurikens have auto-targeting that happens, and now a lot of the bow skills have a little bit of that target compensation that shurikens are using. It's not as extreme, but it's there. I really gotta keep an eye out for void res. What's the next level staff? Woodland staff's the thing after composite staff, right? I think this composite staff has the increased dot stuff, which is really nice. I don't think I care about the spell mana cost. We'll put that away just in case. Oops. Did I just switch my ring out? I think I may have, but I think I really like that new ring. Yeah. Let's go. All right. Oh, what am I doing? Mike, just clicking around. Opinion on block, like how block is right now in general? I think block's pretty good for block classes and kind of underwhelming for not block classes, like taking a shield on a mage or a shield on a like a marksman or something like that. I mean, that's really the extreme case, but we're trying to take a lot of the power for blocks off of shields, at least early on. There were some problems where, like, you're not a block character and you find a shield, stick it on, and suddenly you have like 60% block chance, and it's just too much from a single thing. I mean, I don't think any aspect of balance is absolutely perfect yet. But I think they're getting pretty good. I'm much happier with block in its current state than it was before last patch, I'll say that. Oh yeah. I want to get to Raya, but I don't think it's going to happen this stream. We'll do it next week. And I know I will die, and I'm okay with that. I hope you are too. Oops, this is the can't be stun buff. Whew. Spicy meatball. That crit avoidance is gonna be nice later. Stay away from Theodore. Wish he was actually named Theodore. Plans to nerf decoy? Yeah, it's a little strong. It's a little strong. Just a smidge. I mean, maybe have something like every time it takes a hit, like a melee hit, its aggro percentage drops some or something like that. I don't know. Just to like help, like they realize that they're hitting something that's not real.
I will not die here.
Is the damage and resistance scaling difference in arenas from all other content because they seem to do less damage and take more in the arena? Yeah, the arena scales up way faster because it scales by level and by arena wave. So like 100, level 100 arena wave 1 is the same scaling as level 100 Monolith with no Monolith mods. Actually, not a level 100 Monolith. Oh, it is the level 100 Monolith, but that crap. The level 100 Monolith does naturally have some mods on it, I forgot. I think it's 50% increased everything. Damage and health.
Impossible.
Yeah, we've tried permataunt stuff, Lizard. We've tried really hard to avoid permataunt, permastun things, and there's a really weird thing that happens. So you need to have skills need to be powerful enough and fun enough to use out of the box that it incentivizes people who haven't played with them before and don't know what they could potentially become to use them and try them out. Then there needs to be enough power in the nodes that it feels like that it's getting better and improving as you're leveling it up. But you can't, and then any skill that has a void resistance, endurance threshold, thank you. Any skill that has built-in CC, taunt, stun, freeze, knockback, fear, various things like that, has to have sort of built-in cooldowns in order to not permastun things. Multiplayer is going to throw a wrench into like all of that, though, unfortunately. So we'll see what we do. Yeah, fear is interesting because like once it's been feared, it can't be feared again. Last one. Come on, Teddy. Let's go. Into the fight. I feel like such a tiny percentage of my damage is coming from Tempest Strike, and really it's just to gain mana back.
Not die here.
Probably should have gone the other way too. That's okay. We like a little detour, the scenic route. Spriggan spamming for infinite mana. Yeah, the forms are getting rebuilt.
Not die here. Impossible.
Never played a primalist and I make it look like a mistake? Of course it's a mistake. You gotta try everything. This is pretty widely considered one of the worst primalist skills to use, Tempest Strike. But it's usable. It's doable. Any ways to incentivize multiple DPS skills instead of stacking one and have support skills? Yeah, we try and do that by mana gating the really powerful skills is sort of the goal. I think if we were gonna say like what one build distribution that we'd be really happy with is having, that's kind of what I'm doing here really. Having one ability that is your main, like, let's say cooldown skill that you're using that is, like, bigger damage. So this is Warcry, and I'm actually using Warcry to proc Maelstrom. So this is, like, Warcry Maelstrom is my big skill. And then something to spam in between to power that up or recharge it. Whether it help you get off cooldown or help you get your mana back or something like that. Some sort of mobility skill. And then supplementary damage or minions. So I've got my Bear Roar. I probably could honestly put another minion here. Like, drop Sabretooth in. Oh no, will this spawn? I don't think it'll actually spawn a totem without it on the bar. I guess what I'm saying is we try to build skills to fill a bar together instead of having it be like one skill is the damaging skill for this build and that's it. I think this is what we just want to keep doing. Will stash items now be available in the multiplayer release after eventual full game release, or will there be a reset? So we're not going to reset anything. We're not going to nuke your items. We're not going to delete your items. However, right now everything you're doing is offline, and nothing offline is coming online. So you won't be able to bring these characters online. You won't be able to bring your stash online. You won't be able to bring any of these things online. So you will, if you want to play online, have to start from scratch again. But you will still have all of your offline items that you can still load into. Once online launches, you'll still be able to go into offline mode. If you don't care about playing multiplayer, that's fine. You can keep using all your stuff. If you want to experiment with builds and things like that, you've got all your stuff already. Go ahead. All that sorts of stuff. Yeah. Now I can say this because I made it, but this sort algorithm kind of sucks sometimes. Because it doesn't learn that like you want things in stacks of 2 because most things are too wide. Gate step. No, that's not one. Okay. That's about time. One more question here. Do you plan to rework how health potions work? No, but if you want to suggest it, we can talk about it. Because at low level, it's a pain to get throng of mobs with no life regen. Yeah, I at low level. Yeah, it's I think like if anything, we might consider changing health potions to scale off of your max health a little bit differently. It does right now. I can't remember what it is. It's scaled off level. And I will be honest, I don't get feedback very often that early game, while leveling, it's more powerful health potions are really necessary. But that's not to say it'll never happen. There are like belt affixes you can get, like this one right here, extra potion slot, health gain on potion use. So like we could, oh, it's just health regen. Don't have any more of those. Of course, I just wrecked my potions. That's okay though. Are you planning to add fun procs to items like your attacks have a 15% chance to cast Meteor, Tornado, Chain Lightning? Yeah. We have things like that already on uniques, and we'll probably add more things like that. That one right there would be pretty intense. All of those simultaneously. But maybe. Alright, that's just about all the time we've got for today. I'll answer one more here. Are you planning on leaving autocast in the game? We're planning on reworking skills that are frequently autocast such that it's no longer optimal to autocast them. That's how we're hoping to target that situation, we'll call it. Yeah. Alright, we're going to call it there for the day. You all have a lovely afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are.